we saw this a little bit with the first pipeline that we ran, where you can get in a situation where what is causing the error. And it's important to, when you're debugging this, when you're debugging your pipeline, to think about where the error is taking place and determine essentially where that is taking place. And the reason I say this is because there's a lot of different places that pipeline can break. It can break from the fact that the task you've written is incorrect, like you are writing BWA mem and then you use an incorrect option, and then BWA mem is going to fail, and you call this as like a failure of the task, so that the task itself, the script section of the task fails. It can fail because you've made it an incorrect, something wrong in the Nextflow syntax. So maybe you've made something wrong in the way that you've connected the channels together, or you have defined your process in an incorrect way. And that could either be in a situation where the process task runs or the task doesn't run. Usually those ones are pretty easy to spot because Nextflow can give you an error on that. It doesn't necessarily have visibility on what's taking place at the task. It can fail because of a network error. It can fail because for some spontaneous reason that resources you're trying to use don't work. It can fail because the resources that you require for that are giving you an error. And this is what we call like a platform error, because imagine that you requested 8 gigs of memory and that was not available on that queue, and then LSCF told you those resources are not available. So, or similar for AWS Batch or whatever you want to run this. And then you can also get in situations where you've made an error in the input. So you've specified the wrong file to do that. But understanding what's taking place and how the flow of information is taking place can really help you debug that and identify the kind of root cause of the error. A key part of that as well is to see inside of like the Nextflow log. And every time that we are running all of these files, we get if we just do an ls on here, I can show all of the files. You'll see that what happens is that each time we run, we get a .nextflow log, .nextflow log. And the way this works is this gets replaced. So .log is the latest pipeline that we've run. We've got .log1, .log2, which is like the preceding ones. And once it gets to 9, it just replaces those. So if we see .nextflow log here, you can see the full flow of this. And this is, you can determine the error bugging specificity here. If we just go to the top, you can see it's quite long in the way it runs, but you've got the Nextflow version. Here you can see SCM, so source code management, pulling from this repository. Launching here, and then you can start to see that the way that it's built the config. So it's found a config at .nextflow config. It's found a config in the repository. So this is the repository from the GitHub. And then it's found found another config there. So you pass those. It's running in this case on AWS and Amazon, any kind of plugins which are required, pulling that, and it's giving some information on Nextflow itself. And you kind of start to see all the stages that take place here. So we specified the working directory, where that's running. The pool size is the number of threads, or this number of tasks that can run in parallel there. And that kind of runs through. So a lot of information there that can be particularly helpful about debugging.